Hi, I'm Elaine Sanchez. If you ever watched Fiddler on the Roof, you will remember Tevye singing Tradition. I love that song. Now, speaking of traditions, you may celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or your gatherings may be all secular affairs. Regardless, though, of what or how you celebrate the holidays, over time, most of our families develop some patterns of activities that eventually become carved in stone traditions. Case in point, my husband and I met in 1995. He was a widower with 5 grown children. I was divorced with 3 nearly grown children. We fell in love, got married in 1996, and decided it would be great fun to celebrate Christmas with both families. We did that for nearly 20 years. Grandkids grew up, there were new marriages and births, and I continued to think that hosting kids and cooking Christmas dinner for all of our beloved family was not only an important tradition, but a huge gift to my husband. Then, about 10 years ago, after I'd stood on the front porch and waved goodbye as the last kid left for the airport, I went into the living room expecting Alex to tell me how much he appreciated all the hard work I had put into making it such a lovely holiday for both of our families. Well, he was sitting in his recliner reading the paper. He folded the paper, put it on his lap, and then he looked up at me and he said, "Next year, I am going someplace warm for Christmas, and you would be welcome to join me if you'd like." And I said, "Did you not enjoy Christmas this year?" And he said, "I did not." I said, "Oh, what was the problem?" He said, "You're the problem." And I said, "Excuse me? I'm the problem?" And he said, "Yes, you're the problem. You're the problem because you have to make such a big deal out of everything." And I said, "Well, why don't you tell me how to not make a big deal out of having 2 of your daughters and their families stay with us for 2 weeks straight and then fixing dinner for 25 people on Christmas Day?" And he shrugged and he said, "Easy, you just stop doing it." Incredulous, I said, "Just stop doing it? And then what?" He said, "You stop thinking it's up to you to make everyone else's Christmas special. You let the kids establish their own traditions and we go someplace warm." Well, I don't remember what I said, but I do remember stomping out of the room and thinking, "You want to go someplace warm next year? Fine, I'll plan a trip and it's going to cost you plenty, pal." In my mind, Alex was guilty of holiday tradition sedition. This was a rebellion, a revolt, an insurrection, and I was going to figure out a way to fight it. Now, the problem with being married to an intelligent, wise, thoughtful man is that once you calm down, it can be hard to argue with reason. So after I stopped being mad at Alex for saying he wanted to forego our combined family celebrations and go someplace warm, the next year I was sad. My feelings were hurt. And I decided that revenge spending probably would not really create a joyous holiday for either one of us. So I decided to practice what I preach and follow the 3 steps of creative indifference, which are: 1, become aware of the people, situation, and events that are causing you the greatest amount of stress. 2, accept that there are things you will never be able to change or control, including the progression of a disease, the impact it's going to have on your care receiver, and the behavior of other people. And the 3rd step is action, and there are 2 parts to this. If you name a problem that has a solution, that's awesome. Make a plan, execute the plan, and then move on. If there is not a solution, then you have 2 choices. You can obsess over it and let it wake you up every night at 3 a.m., or you can release your emotional attachment to it. So after I calmed down and thought about it, I was aware that our holiday gatherings did take a tremendous amount of work, and that the shopping, cooking, serving, and cleaning up really wasn't all that much fun for me. And next I had to accept that Alex is several years older than I am, and he has suffered from chronic back pain for years. I realized I had to accept that what had once been fun for both of us was no longer fun for him. A large group of people, multiple conversations happening all at the same time, kitchen chaos, and everything else that goes along with a gathering of 25 or more people was exhausting for him. I also had to accept that the gift I thought I was giving him was actually a gift he did not want to receive. And that took me to the third action step, or to the third step, which is action. I felt sad and disappointed, but I did agree to go someplace warm for the next 2 Christmases, which helped us realize that we both loved all of our family members and we missed being with them during the holidays. We just didn't love being with them all together at the same time in the same place, namely our house. On year 3, we stayed home and we had a series of smaller gatherings. Some were at our home, some were in restaurants, some were in our children's homes. And surprise, surprise, it was a lot less work, a lot less noise and confusion. So rather than spending all of our energy managing the logistics of the holiday events, we actually had time to relax and have meaningful conversations with our family members. So that's how I applied the 3 steps of creative indifference to our holiday celebrations. Next time, we'll talk about how this strategy might work to help reduce for you and your care receiver this holiday season. Thanks for being with me.